All right, you grasshoppers. Well, this is in one way a disappointing day, but another way a fantastic day. Our old teammate and an old show partner here, James Patrick, is back on. Jeep, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Good. So just to update everybody, Gresh will not be able to make it. He's got some other commitments. Mel is supposed to be on, but he's not here. I think he's planning that game like he wants to show up late, like because he's all excited. I think he's trying to show that he's not excited about Jeep being on the show. So he's showing up late here, so he's not on yet. So how did it end up your hockey season then? Did you guys you were talking about playing 24 games. Did you get those in? And Jeep's frozen on me too. So nobody's cooperating with me. Nobody wants to be on today. So just update everybody again. Gresh had other commitments here. He could not make the show today. Jeep is filling in for him. Dave Maloney, obviously. Jeep, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We lost you for a second. Did you end up getting the 24 games in? Is that what you were going to play with your team?
We did. We played 24 games. We were in a bubble in Regina, and great experience.
Did they have playoffs and everything or no?
No, they were canceled halfway through the bubble. They announced that they were canceling them. Hockey Canada did. The Ontario League didn't even have hockey, so the 24 games was great. So,
James, I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but somebody has shown up for the show late.
Sir James.
Mel, how you doing?
Okay, so let's not start with the pleasantries. You're late for the show. Why are we late?
Last week you told me someone pooped in my cornflakes. Well, our frickin' internet carrier, TELUS, is so shitty. I couldn't get onto I've been using it every week. I get on my daughter's computer and they locked me out. So that I'm on streaming with TELUS. Don't get me started. Jesus.
Maybe Bill prepared. Just Gresh can't make it. Either Dave's got to prepare for the he's doing game 7 of the Island of Tampa series, so he's preparing for that as well. So
who's playing?
Pardon me?
Who's playing?
Oh God, don't start. Jeep, you've seen the show, right? Where he puts on this act like he never watches hockey?
I find it hard to believe, Mel. You can't get away from it in Canada. You know who's playing. You've been watching games. Don't tell me that.
It's kind of a Tampa shirt. That's a Tampa colored shirt you got on there too.
Listen, Jeep, I don't know what's happening in Manitoba, but we're setting records here. It's going to be 104 degrees all up and down the West Coast. They're smashing temperature records. So hence the German and Bond summer, instead of black, come up with some frickin' summer colors for shit's sake, Tom. Anyways.
So did you see the video I posted in memory of James being on before and how you talked about doing so much homework?
Yes.
So it kind of made me realize that since that show with James on, you've gone downhill steadily on the homework part of the show. Yeah.
So you talking about poop last week was really informative.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Clean the toilet bowl and everything.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, it wasn't all about you, Mel. We were talking about James's hockey team. So halfway through the playoffs or halfway through the season, they announced there were no playoffs.
Wow. Yeah. So basically it was a development season, 24 games. Brandon ended up with the best record, so they were awarded the division championship. And you know what? It was I've never seen players so appreciative of playing hockey and excited to play and happy to be together. There were 7 teams in our division, so talking to other coaches, they all felt the same way. But it was awesome. It was good hockey. It was intense. It was a lot of future NHLers. Schneider, who is a Ranger draft pick, was probably I would have called him the best defenseman in the division. He's really good. He's going to be. I think he'll be a real good NHLer.
Right. He's a pretty physical kid too, right?
He's big. He's tough. He can play 2 ways. He can join as well. He's got some offense to his game, but he's got some bite. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to play defense in the NHL, whether he needs a year in the American League or not, but he's going to be good.
Good.
Who's he with, Jeep?
Rangers drafted him. He played for Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
So Brandon had he's a first rounder. They had Ridley Gregg is a first rounder by Ottawa. They probably have about 4 or 5 other draft players who were drafted. third to fifth or sixth round draft picks. So they had a good team. We have a good defenseman will be a first rounder this year, and we have two 16-year-olds who will be both possible top 5 NHL picks. So we have some real good young players coming.
Do you think the scouts have a pretty good handle on these kids, James? I mean, obviously not as much as a normal season.
This year's killing them. Oh. So I get phone calls almost every day from different scouts asking about our players. No hockey in the Ontario Hockey League.
That's right.
So they're basing all their rankings on how they were 2 years ago. We have this kid who's rated to go in the first rounder. So as a 16-year-old defenseman, I know Gresh has talked about him. He was outstanding. Played 2 games in the bubble for us and had a irregular heartbeat. Had to have surgery, and never played. And so the scouts are having, they saw him play 2 games this year, and you're trying to base a first round pick on speculation. So I think it's real hard on the scouts. They do as much research as possible, way more than they used to. They talk to every person possible about the player, his family, his upbringing, his character, his schooling. So they do look at all angles.
Right. So just, James, this is Larry Melnick's new friend here, Podwell, coming up with a 60-year-old newsflash. Wow, nobody knew that Larry Boschman was from Brandon there, Podwell. Good job.
Yeah, we don't give a shit, Podwell.
That's a newsflash.
Yeah.
Did you hear about those Beatles breaking up too?
Hey, Tommy, if they would have done the character checks and all that crap on you and I, we would have never made it. Hey?
No, we would have got drafted higher. What are you talking about?
Well, probably.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing, Jeep, how long have you been out of hockey?
We ended May 1st. And then I went down I've been in the States for about a month. I was in Phoenix for a week, New York for 3 weeks, and then
he was in New York for 3 weeks, Mel.
Yeah, there was a couple of questions about that, Sir James. I know if you came to Vancouver, you'd call me, but Tom, I think, is a little upset.
I will say this: I was visiting a close friend who was ill, and I was seeing to his needs, taking him to doctor's appointments, and that was how I spent my whole time.
Yeah,
so,
it was a good deed. I know the guy.
Needs a little help too, though.
Mel, how are you smelling today, Mel?
Yes.
You smell like Guess?
Yeah.
I have no idea. We're not. He does this all the time now, Jeep. It's funny.
No, it's Guess. Guess cologne. Jeez.
I'm not guessing. I'm not.
Yeah. Guess. But hey, you see, hold on. How was your Father's Day, you guys? So your watch has to match the clothes, Tom. Okay. So
did you get a watch for Father's Day?
Yeah, I bought it myself, but the kids pitched in and bought it for me. So this is a sterling watch. I was misinformed. I gave some wrong information. Podwell should have caught it.
What's new? You're always giving out wrong information. That's fine.
Well, I know I've been shitty lately, but this is sterling. This is from New York. Headquarters in Brooklyn. Sterling. Oh. Yeah, he sold over 15 million watches. This is going to be an information day. You just wait. Okay,
make up for all the shows in the past 2 months. There's been no information coming from you.
Well, you know what? I sent you an email this morning. What did I say? So
you told me that you're bailing out next week. You gave me all the details of your vacation next week, and that you're not coming on the show.
So you get somebody in better that can fill in, okay?
You can't do the show from vacation? They don't have the internet?
No. I'm going to see Ronald Flockhart from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Where are you going?
Sicamous. Yeah. The houseboat capital of the world.
Hottest place in Canada.
Pretty close, yeah. It's going to be 108 there.
So, James, your nephew Nolan, I don't know if you watched the show, but Larry was spreading the rumor that he asked for a trade out of Philadelphia. Is that accurate?
Hold on. No. There's a little bit of controversy. Let's clarify, Tom.
No, it's not. I don't know what Larry said. I watched the show regularly. I didn't see that part because I was traveling last Thursday, but the
rumor was either he's on the block or he's asked for a trade.
I think he would be on the block. I would imagine they'd want to move on from him. Hasn't lived up to billing or hasn't performed well enough.
But that's kind of unfair, isn't it? Missing a whole season, then coming back as a young player.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's been a awkward situation. He missed with concussion symptoms. The team did not want to let anyone know that for the whole year. They kept saying it was a migraine disorder, and he's never had a migraine in his life.
Sorry, James, sorry to interrupt you, but why would they want to keep that a secret?
I don't know. I don't know whether I don't know. You know, sometimes there's between the doctors and the team. I do know he had a concussion and played about 4 days after, and then a week later, the symptoms got worse.
Right.
So whether it is, they wanted to keep it under wraps to protect the team from their liability.
But man, when his father's a former NHL player and his uncle's a former NHL player, I'm going to keep it from the NHL community that the kid's got to. I mean, obviously, if people are questioning his toughness, saying he's got migraines or however you want to phrase it, you guys are going to defend him and say, no, he doesn't have migraines. He's got a concussion.
Well, I've said that to anyone who's asked, but but I know he. I asked him when I saw that report. I mean, I saw it in a couple of newspapers, so I phoned my brother, and then I actually ended up talking to my nephew. I said, he said, no, I didn't ask for a trade. He said, I like my teammates. I like it there. I mean, I know I didn't play well enough, and I have to play better. The bottom line is he has to become a better player to help the team.
Right. But that team, I heard a lot of rumors that that's the real country club there now. That's the rumor that it's turning into country.
I was going to say Philadelphia is a tad dysfunctional. They always have been, right?
Yeah.
I think there are issues with. I don't know whether I don't think it's. I shouldn't say leadership. I just think there are some issues in the dressing room. I think with some guys. I think some guys have been there for a long time, but
yeah. That was Mel's good friend there, Doug DeVito.
Hi, Danny. Hey, Jeep. So for Father's Day, did you get Nolan like the Manscaper 4? So did he cut his hair?
He's my nephew.
I know. What did I say?
For Father's Day, am I giving out gifts?
Hey, what I meant was
I missed that one.
Okay, did Steven get Nolan the Manscaper 4 to get?
Why would he get his son a gift on Father's Day?
Did he get a haircut?
No, he hasn't. And I'll go on the record saying it drives me crazy when I see he does look like Roy Orbison right now. When I see his hair, when I see it,
Roy Orbison sees better though.
It bugs me. I'm just saying, become a hockey player. Cut your hair.
Yeah.
We had the long hair in the past, didn't we?
Not that bad, and it's a different generation now.
Yeah,
I got a couple players on my team. I feel like tell them to cut their hair, and I don't think I'm allowed to do that. So I'll shut up.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Roy Orbison dress in all black as well, just like Johnny Cash?
Yep.
He must be one of your favorites, and Tom?
Yeah, love him.
120 degrees, and you were all black.
Yeah. Actually, I was in Brooklyn on Saturday for a Juneteenth celebration. It's like 95 and humid. I had all black on. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
well. James, you know what I wanted to ask you as a guy that's been coaching more. I watched the game now, the NHL game, and maybe it's because we're older. We think, well, we never made mistakes. But is the defensive part of the game, particularly the defensive zone, not where it was in the past? Not as good?
I don't know if it's you could say it's not as good. It's way harder. It's a faster game. It's harder on defense. I see elite defensemen make huge mistakes that you never saw before.
Right.
And then it's just you know what? They're right back out. They still play 28 minutes. I look at Shea Weber, and he is a beast. He can play big minutes. He's a powerful skater. He can skate. He gets beat once in a while.
Yeah, making bad decisions in the defensive zone, but chasing behind the net and stuff.
Yeah, but I think as a team, you just live with it. You live with the fact that he plays big minutes. He can be physical. He can be mean. I think he's got a bomb of a shot.
Yeah,
those are his skills. I think it's harder. The speed of the game is so fast now.
Yeah,
and maybe when they took the obstruction and less you can't reach out, you can't use your stick like you could before. That has to be it, because I can go through a list. I watch a lot of hockey, and seeing the top end defense. When I see Suter on Minnesota make big mistakes, and the guy's played 15 years. He's been a top end defenseman. Some defense. I do think the young defensemen are better. I look at Makar. I look at Heiskanen and
Fox.
And exactly Fox. Those guys are the top D in the league. If you ask, in my opinion, maybe it's the turnover, maybe it's the young game, the speed of the young players now that they've kind of grown up with those guys, and they're used to that speed, I think.
Yeah. And they are, like Fox I watch here, he's pretty smart in his own zone. Like, he doesn't make those mistakes very often. Yeah.
No. And so then you're going to live with him, who's a great skater and a great puck mover. And then on the physical side of the game, he's probably given up some.
Yeah.
And that's you live with the player, the skills that he have. You try and put him in a position to succeed. And but yeah, if you got a player with real good hockey sense and can play positionally, that's huge.
So here's one of our listeners, James, is spelling challenged. Well, let's say, like, we got to get him a dictionary. He doesn't know how to use his punctuation marks or anything like that. So he came pretty close here. Just forgot the period at the end of misses, but he's getting better. I don't think he can really spell his own name, actually.
No, he's still. So James, Shea Weber's from Sicamous. There's 11 or 12 guys that made it out of Sicamous. I was just thinking, like, if Tommy had the current hockey stick, his shot wouldn't be as hard as Shea Weber's, would it?
No, it would not.
No,
it would not.
Would yours, and neither would mine.
Oh,
It'd be about the same as it was with a wooden stick, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, too, Ron Jameson brings up a good point here, too. Should mention the sad news. Tom Curvers passed away, and Rennie Robert. So,
yeah.
Sad stuff.
Knew them both. I played college against Tom at Duluth, and obviously we all played against him in the NHL. And fantastic guy. And when I went to Buffalo, incredible alumni in Buffalo. Like it's up there with it's definitely one of the biggest and best in the NHL. I got to know Rennie really good. They're all three of the Triple Crown. What were the French Connection line were really involved, and Richard Martin passed away about 10 years ago, and now Rennie. But lived in Buffalo. I'd see him at the rink a lot.
Yeah.
He's way too young, 72 years old, so it was sad and unexpected. So.
Right. And with Curvers, people jumped to the conclusion he had lung cancer, so a lot of people think he's a smoker, right? There's an interesting article about that, and he was not. No. And I think like 50% of the cases of lung cancer is actually a good thing to come out that it's, I hate to say it like this, but kind of brings light to the fact that it isn't necessarily from smoking that you get lung cancer. But so you're safe.
No, I don't smoke. Never have. I hate it. With Curvers, and did they chew by chance? Because I think, Howard Chuck, did that have anything to do with those guys?
From what I understand with Curvers, I don't think he did, but I don't know that for sure. But, yeah. Is that what it was with Howard Chuck?
I'm not sure, but because he chewed a lot. I did a lot of alumni stuff with him, and his golf tournament in Winnipeg, and yeah, he was always chewing. So I don't.
Have you ever chewed, Mel?
No. My mom and
I tried it twice in my life and threw up both times.
Yeah.
So.
My parents smoked for their whole life, and I couldn't stand it. So never tried. I like I'll take a puff of a cigar every now and then, but I like to smell a cigar. But
you just do that to make yourself look good too, right? With the cigar, kind of goes with the image.
You look cool on the golf course with
big shot on the golf course.
Yeah.
Do you putt with the cigar in your mouth?
No. Well, I could. Yeah.
So James, I'm trying to think. Was Mel did he suck up to you as much when we played together as he sucks up to you now?
No, we were good friends. I don't think he sucks up to me now. He's got a Winnipeg connection, and we're going to get together when he comes to Winnipeg this year. He's going to let me know when he's coming.
I'll call. I will call. I'm coming to see the gated mansion.
Don't blink when you're driving by. You'll miss it. But we lived in the same condo complex. There's about 5 or 6 of us in there. And we were Mel was real similar to how he is on the show. That's how I remember him. Always had a comment out of the corner of his mouth. He was kind of quiet, and then he out of nowhere he had some interesting opinion. But
so even back then, like he'd show up some days to work and other days he wouldn't show up, right? Is that because that's pretty much the way it is now?
No, I don't remember that. I think Mel always answered the bell.
Yeah, he did.
He used to say to me, I can every third or fourth practice, he'd skate up to me after about 5 minutes and he'd say, "Would you slow down?" I haven't even got into practice yet. Just kind of whisper in my ear from behind.
He would jump on the ice with the toilet bowl on his head. He would start, like, we just get out of bed, we go to the rink, we're tired. I just saunter on the ice. He gets on the ice and he does about 13 quick laps around.
Oh, I know, it's true.
I said, "Holy crap, Jeep, Jesus!" Like,
I know. Chiefs, he'd get out there, the crossovers and everything flying. And we're all,
Well, we couldn't do crossovers, but anyways.
Yeah. Does Jeep? Hold on one second here. Good question coming up here from Joseph. Does Jeep have any work around the house for Mel's wife? You do it, and James, maybe you can chime in on this too. Well, you're a divorced man too, so. So Mel's the only one of us that stayed married, but we question how that's really happened because she seems like a saint of a woman, and he doesn't treat her very well. His treatment, like his lack of attention to her, they don't sleep in the same room. He's having her do the chores, buy the barbecue, fix the satellite dish. So
I'd like to know what's really going on. He really tries to portray like it's like separate lives, and he does whatever he wants, and so I doubt that. I think that's his alter image. I think she puts him in his place. She keeps him on the straight and narrow.
Right.
That's my guess.
Right. So he puts on a show like he's the boss, and then she says, "Okay, enough's enough. That's it. Okay, I got it."
I think it was like that too when Mel was on the team. I think Rochelle was the boss back then, and I think that's been the best thing for him. That's
probably true.
Yeah.
And he was smart enough to do what he was told.
That's right.
We did not do.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Hold on. Ira Matthews here with another great question. Does anyone ever tell Tom to slow down? No, Ira. I don't think anybody did. So, okay, now let's get after it then. What's your homework? What do you got going today?
Well, so it was Father's Day week, right, for me? So, or even Father's Day month, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So she comes up to me and says, "Hey, Larry, I've been cutting the grass for probably 5 or 6 years now." So I said, "Listen, I told you I lubricated the mower, okay? Mm-hmm. But the one thing, you're in good shape. You know, you've been pushing the lawnmower on Melnick Mountain. There's a couple of hills here and there to cut my grass." I finally said to her, because I felt bad. I'm always thinking of her. I bought a lawnmower thinking, okay, if she cuts the grass, you know, it might get harder when she gets older. I said, so I finally told her, I said, "You know what these two handles are on the bar?" I said, "These are rear wheel drive. You can actually pull these and the mower will go all by itself." She said, "Oh, thanks very much."
You're a wonderful human being, you are.
I know, but I was thinking of her when I bought it. I said, you know, it's rear wheel drive. It's a lot easier. Just pull the handle.
Is she upstairs today? She listening?
Oh, she's right there. Yeah.
Rochelle, how are you?
James Patrick's on today. You want to come say hi? You're Nate. We'll put some clothes on.
Jesus,
I'm good, but unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey, it's Father's Day month still.
Rochelle, how do you do it?
I'm good.
Oh, no. Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
No, one of the guys from New York wants to know what you're going to do with the wood chipper today.
I'm going to put you in it.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, Mel, did you manscape?
I did yesterday. Yeah, I did. Yeah. That's why I brought up the Manscaper 4. One of my buddies from Winnipeg, Harvey Manouk, said I should be a spokesman for the Lawnmower 4 and the Manscaper 4.
You know, there's an advertisement on the sports channel here that Boomer Esiason's on for that. I heard it this morning. Yeah. That's good. Good. James, did we talk about that? Do you manscape?
You know what? It was brought up the first time I was on the show, and I kind of passed on it.
Right.
My daughters watch this show.
Right.
Oh.
It's a what? Manscape.
Yeah. Okay. A little.
A little.
Hey, Jeep, hair is hard to grow on steel, huh?
Oh, here we go. Go suck up to him again. God. So some of the stuff we covered when you weren't on, since James, you fold your underwear when you put your underwear back in the drawer?
Yeah, I do.
You do that yourself, or you have a maid do that?
No, I do that. I do my wash and
Do you do your own shopping for food and cooking and everything?
everything. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I do.
You a good cook?
Pretty good. I mean, I cooked. I did all the barbecuing when I was married, and I've now kind of picked up on the cooking side. I've done better, and enjoy watching your cooking show on Sundays. And I bake a fair bit.
Nice.
But I like you, Tommy. I eat pretty healthy, so I bake healthy snacks.
Nice.
Alternative flours and alternative sweeteners, and
Good. You use the monk fruit sweetener? You try that?
I haven't. No, I'll use agave syrup or just some maple syrup usually. So
Good. Nice. Mel, how about your cooking there? You still have the sausage and block of cheese going, or I think you clean that up a little bit though.
Well, yesterday, before a big golf, so I played with Paul Reinhardt yesterday, Cliffy Ronning and Dave Babbage in a little golf tournament.
little name dropping.
No
Right.
kidding. Drop the name. So
Yeah, just a couple of my friends. Anyways,
Yeah.
shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
you went
My
golfing with
cooking.
him.
My cooking. Yeah. So pre golf game, I'm sitting in the lineup to McDonald's, listening to Limp Bizkit on Turbo 41, and I order my cheeseburger and small fries. So every now and then I'll have a little bit of a cheat day, but in general. But then I got a question for some people. Like, Jeep, what's your favorite band? What kind of music you listen to?
I listen to First Wave on satellite.
Channel 34,
33.
33. Yep.
33. I mean, I'm classic.
Yes, you are. You are classic.
Yeah.
So-
So,
I'm listening to Turbo. My wife thinks and my kids think I'm wacko.
mhm.
Like it's hard ass, like Godsmack and some of this. I've never even heard of these bands. But anyways, I'm listening. And all of a sudden I had a moment because Kid Rock, who's another personal friend of mine, he comes on and what the hell does he come? One of his most famous songs is Ba with the Ba.
Yeah.
Can anybody tell me what the hell that means? Anybody?
Well, some of our listeners will know.
Yeah. How do we
Tony
come
and
up
I can't help you on that one.
Bob at the bar.
Ba with the Ba?
So isn't that like a Boston accent, like at the bar? Bob was at the bar.
Mel, when did you hang out with Kid Rock?
Oh, great story.
Because I know he's good friends with Chelios, and a bunch of the Detroit guys used to
Yeah. Well,
jump in his private plane and
oh yeah.
take off for a day. And
So Jeff Courtnall and Russ Courtnall had a Courtnall Classic in Victoria in, I think, 2005. And we all went and stayed. And who comes to the tournament is Gretzky, Janet, with an entourage, of course, like of
Eddie Meal. Eddie Meal was probably there.
I don't remember Eddie being there. No. Pamela
He'd be carrying Wayne's bags.
probably. Pamela Anderson comes, and so I went and got I think I got a picture. I'll pull it out. My daughter sang. So Jeff Courtnall had a place right on the water. Kid Rock brought his guitar and drums. So my daughter sang with Kid Rock. We got it on video. So Kid Rock comes in. We go to the golf tournament. Him and Gretzky have big cigars hanging out. Kid Rock has a green John Deere golf cap on and a white beater, no sleeves, and he's in his jeans and he's playing golf at this private club in Victoria. And along the course, there's a bunch of houses and there's tons of people out there because they know Gretzky's there and Kid Rock. So they go on their side. They got the cigars going and they're signing autographs up and down, just like the PGA Tour. It was unbelievable.
So let's go. We'll replay that. You dropped like 10 names there in
Yeah.
a matter of 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I told you it's going to be an informative show.
you know what, though, Tommy? He won 2 Stanley Cups,
Yeah.
and that
Oh,
comes with the territory, I think.
that reminds me. So for Father's Day as well, I got a cup. And it says on here, "Here we fucking go again." Oops. I mean, good morning. And then it's got where we go? Oh, there they are.
Who made you that? Your neighbor, Steve Smith?
Yep, not the Steve Smith that scored in his own net. My neighbor, Steve Smith.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot something. I was going to touch on something there from your little story. That was such a long story. Paul Reinhardt. You go for Paul Reinhardt?
Yes.
Did he disclose whether his son's getting traded from the Sabres or not? Or
I probably shouldn't say anything, but there's discussions. He's free agent, right? So there's discussions on where he might go. He has a spot that he might like to go. He didn't get into specifics of negotiation or anything like that, but I'm sure, 25 goals in how many games this year? 60 games. So
but he's a restricted free agent.
yes.
Is he? Okay.
So Tommy,
Yes.
you know how that works, being the agent.
Yeah. And then his other son, Griffin, who's 26, and we talked a little bit about, some guys, and show me a good scout. Like, tell me the name of a good scout. So let's go back.
Steve Richmond.
Okay, good.
Who's Steve with now?
Washington. Actually, I think he's the director of player development, I think now, so he's not even scout. But
so we talked about Griffin Reinhardt, first rounder of Edmonton, and I said, because I played there, and Barry Fraser was the scout that got a hold of Messier and Anderson. Kevin Lowe was a first rounder, but Messier, Anderson, Andy Moe, Grant Fuhr, Curry, he drafted all those guys. And should have forgot where I was going with this one. So we're talking about Griffin Reinhardt, and I said, Paul, and what he said to me, he said, Griffin is probably one of the best defensemen out there that never got a shot. And I don't understand why. I said, well, look at the past history of Edmonton. Justin Schultz, Eberle, Taylor Hall, Yakupov. Who else am I thinking? They had 5 or 6 first rounders. Justin Schultz, they can't. Petrie. All these guys go somewhere else. You tell me you couldn't teach Petrie how to play or Justin Schultz how to play? Petrie's
playing well now too.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like Yakupov.
Well, that's not to me. That's not a scouting issue as much as a player development issue, right?
Well, why do you give up on these guys?
Well,
they go somewhere else. But so to that statement,
my take on that, Mel, Edmonton was notorious for handing it over to the young guys right off the bat, giving them huge contracts, but also giving them big roles before they'd probably developed or earned it. All those guys, as soon as they were high draft picks, were playing right away as 18-year-olds, playing ahead of veteran guys. I think it messed up the culture there, messed up the development of a lot of them. I know those guys got a chance to play as opposed to the Reinhardt kid. But I think, though, I remember Schultz played well as a rookie. And Lindy, who I'm close with, Lindy Ruff was coaching the World Championship team, and Schultz went over there. Kevin Lowe was involved with the management. He was really upset that Lindy wasn't playing him more. And Lindy is saying, like, he's a 20-year-old kid who's our 6th defenseman on Team Canada. And, I just felt that's what they did with him. And, as an example of one player in Edmonton, they played him so much right off the bat. I think it took him a while to become a better all-around defenseman.
I think you're right, James, but it's kind of surprising, right? With those guys, the culture they grew up in, where the young players back then, they did have to kind of earn their stripes, right? They didn't jump in and play right. Well, unless you're Gretzky, I guess. But
yeah, I don't. It's hard to say. I know Kevin was involved with the management. I don't know who was running the team the whole time, but yeah. I do think it's an issue for a lot of teams now because the league's gotten younger and.
Even from a money standpoint, you're trying to get those kids in the entry level contracts, right? So you're saving money. Yeah. Very true.
But for Schultz to go and get 2 rings, good for him. For Petrie to, go to Montreal and play 7 solid years of hockey, real good hockey, gave up on him. And they shit on him. Like the sports writers, they're really smart too. They shit on him for years.
James, as a coach, I want to ask another coaching question. So Vegas, I'm a big fan of Marc-Andre Fleury, although I think Leonard's a really good goaltender as well. Leonard 2 games ago wins the game. Then the game after that, they come back with Fleury, loses the game. Why as a coach, would you not come back with the goalie, which was Leonard, that won the game previously and played well for them? Is there a reason?
I wouldn't do what Pete did there, but my thinking was that I think Fleury's played real good throughout the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
That had the big gaff behind the net, but he played well in that game. I watched the game. Like you can't blame him on the game outside of that play.
Yeah.
And I thought once he took him out of the net, I think he might have said to him, "Listen, I'm going to give you a break, refresh, refocus, and you're going back in." I'm guessing that would have been the communication with Fleury, but I would have just stuck with Fleury. Like once you're that deep in the playoffs and you're going with, he's been your guy. Leonard played one game.
Yeah. It didn't play well. Yeah.
And didn't play well. And they went with Fleury, who they've been riding him.
Yeah.
You stay with him. I think that was the issue. Yes. If you turn it over to Leonard and he gets the win, I would have gone back with him, but I wouldn't have changed from Fleury to start with.
And obviously, George McPhee's an old teammate and good friend of ours, so I'm not trying to criticize him. But that whole situation with the goaltenders there, right? You bring in Marc-Andre Fleury as the face of the franchise. And now he's had his struggles from time to time, but he was playing pretty well in Vegas, took him to the finals the first year. And then all of a sudden now you bring Leonard in and sign him to a 5-year contract, and you've still got Fleury there. And then you try to trade him and don't trade him. It's kind of –
And then since that point, Fleury's outplayed Leonard. Like he's been hands down the better goalie, and I think he's really popular in the dressing room. I think he's a hardworking character goalie. Super competitive.
Yep.
It is a tough situation that they probably brought a bit of it on themselves.
Yeah.
What games tonight? Games tonight?
Montreal tonight. Yeah.
Aren't you watching, Mel?
I'll probably be outside having a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Montreal's your team, though.
Someone sat in this chair and did say they were going to win the division, didn't they? Who was that? Tom?
Roy Orbison?
Yeah.
So who's going to win tonight, Mel? Is Montreal going to win?
No.
Oh.
They're not.
Well, if Vegas plays the way they can, they should win, I think. But then again, with Carey Price in that for Montreal, who knows? Right?
It's going to be close, though. They're going to be tight. 7 games, always tight.
Yeah. How about the Islanders?
Going into their last game, Vegas had 1 goal from their forwards, and then I think Pacioretty scored. But it was incredible, the lack of production by their top end guys. Just haven't done it. I mean, if your guys in your top 6 aren't scoring for you or producing, you're not going to win.
And even defensively, like I watched that Stone on a couple of plays defensively, like you almost think he's hurt or something because he's a pretty hard worker, and he was not back checking at all a couple of times, and his guy scored on him. So, yeah. Yep.
Should we
Mel, got any more homework, Mel?
Well, should we bring up the shitty refereeing again and guys getting sliced and guys getting cross-checked? And I like that type of play. Kucherov, what's his name? Kucherov?
Yeah.
Probably got broken ribs. In 1985, Kevin Lowe played with broken ribs in the playoffs, so you can expect him to be back tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow.
So, James, and I don't disagree with Larry. Larry talks about the bad refereeing in the league. He says bad refereeing, but we've always had
talking about it now.
We've always had calls that have been missed going back forever, right? In the National Hockey, don't you think?
I love how hard they've played this. I think the whole playoffs. And when I'm watching, I'm just going, man, this is way more intense than the regular season. Like this is man's hockey.
Yeah.
And that the Islanders, I give them all the credit in the world. They've got a really good balance of skill and compete, toughness, battle type of players. And I've loved it. I've loved every playoff game. And I think that's why Tampa won, because they were able to, combine the skill with, they play way harder than they did, 3-4 years ago. So exactly. As far as the cross-check and penalties, so I'm not going to every like Mel said, every year they miss that. It's been like that for 50 years. Come playoff time, you're cross-checking a guy way more than you would during the regular season.
I guess it's the inconsistency, right? I mean, that's the thing, right?
The penalty on Perry in when he got cut on the nose there and there was no call.
Yeah.
I thought that was real blatant missing that one.
Yeah.
My guess on it though, my take on that one is I know when I coached in Dallas and we played Anaheim a lot, Perry had the reputation as the guy who would embellish.
Yeah.
If a stick came near him, like he was, anywhere around the net, he would fall into the goalie.
Yeah.
I think the refs have a book on him that this guy embellishes, and
Right.
that's why that call wasn't made. And then it turns out he's cut. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree with you. What do you think your book was on Mel when we played? Like, what did the other teams say about Mel?
the other team,
Can't
Yeah.
skate.
he's a lefty. Just let him sleep. I think that would be the book.
Yeah,
This guy's pretty tough. He's a lefty, so don't let him surprise you. No, Mel could skate. He's kind of a sleeper. He'll surprise you, so don't take him lightly.
yeah. Let me see what else. This is what Snazzy Dresser.
Thanks, Ira. I'm getting close to pressing the friend button with Ira.
You know what? Ira almost got it done there. He just forgot the period. That's all. He's getting better. Look at him.
So you're gonna accept his friendship?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty close. Just on that, Jeep.
Watch out for little Johnny too.
I think it was Cliff Fletcher out of Calgary had said something. I'd rather play against a Melnick instead of a Bubba Beck, something to that effect. And I don't even know why he brought that. It was in the paper one. I said, what the hell are you even talking about me for, you dipshit? Maybe because I came from Edmonton and the Battle of Alberta. But I don't know. He came – so hey, certain guys are going to like you, certain guys aren't, and whatever. You do the best you can. But just because of certain guys like Jeep and Gresh, and I worked my ass off in New York. Like we worked our ass off. We had a good team.
Well, we said it before. I think we had a good thing. It was disappointing it got broken up. I think we had the makings. That is perfect. We had the makings of a good nucleus there. I do think Mike Ridley was he was a good center for the next 12, 14 years in the league. I wouldn't say a number one, but a number two center, a big body who can make plays.
Yeah. He was a sleeper too.
Yeah.
Right.
And Kelly Miller was a good little player too, right?
Hard to play against.
Yeah. You think back, who's the big tenority we had there? I mean, there's a series of teams, there's always the changes. You look back at some of the guys got moved, they're like
I know.
pretty good players.
Yeah.
Well, Phil went crazy that one camp. He brought in Tenorti, post check. How many other tough guys did he bring in?
Yeah.
And they were all 6'4".
He brought in Jay Caulfield.
Yeah,
That's right.
Big J, yeah.
Jay was a good guy too. If he could just stand up on his skates, he was a fantastic guy. He just couldn't stand up.
He was a bow-legged football player.
Oh God, what a good guy though. He was fat. He was great.
Middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really? And he's still doing analyst for Pittsburgh, right?
I know.
Is he doing? He's an analyst. I didn't know that.
No.
Oh.
Tommy, he does the in between period, or before and after games, and
Right.
he's really close with Mario.
Oh.
He's I think he's had a good business career there. He's been in the insurance industry and does the TV, and he's a fantastic guy. So every time I see him on there, I'm happy for him.
You talk about analysts. The guy down in Dallas, Daryl Ray.
Daryl Ray.
He's hilarious, isn't he? Isn't he funny?
He works at trying to come up with the big words that no one knows what they mean, but but he does. He's a good guy too, and he does a good job.
Yeah.
So.
Razor was down in Halifax. He was one of the a couple of goalies that were down in Halifax with the Oilers in the American League. I played with Daryl. Very, very funny guy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. Good sense of humor.
He's turned out well too.
Yeah. Geez, Podville he can't stop there. Podville. Do you think he has somebody type this out for him? Did Mel appear in the movie Kingpin?
That was a bowling show, Tom.
Oh, is it bowl? Oh, I didn't recognize that. That's good.
Yeah.
You do know I took bowling in college, right? In Northern Michigan, Harvard of the Midwest.
And badminton. Oh, that reminds me, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, my good friend Kid Rock was born in Romeo, Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah.
95 miles from northern Harvard there.
Northern.
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
Okay.
Is that where Romeo is? Is it close? It's in the UP?
Yeah. 95 miles from
Did you ever go to the UP? Did you play against Northern Michigan when you were in North Dakota?
No, I went there on a recruiting trip.
Oh, you did?
Had a real fun recruiting trip.
Was Rick Comley coaching then?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Me and Walt Kyle, and geez, I wish I could remember the name of the other guy who took me out.
Maury Garrett, Danny Garrett's brother, was there.
I know Maury. I got to know Maury in Buffalo. But Walt Kyle and someone else took me out, and I was 17, and
Yeah. Dave Shayak, probably Dave Shayak, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Lots of drinks and toured the bars in Northern Michigan. Had a great time.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Good little town. Did you ever get recruited to go to college, Larry?
Yeah. Lasted for about 4 minutes, Tom.
Who was recruiting you?
BC Junior All-Star game, my one and only All-Star game. Who was it? It wasn't North Dakota. Wisconsin.
Oh.
Comes up to me. I was second star in the game, believe it or not, Tom.
Yeah. I believe it totally should have been first.
Probably. Well, again, guys are anyways. Wisconsin comes up to me. I'm standing outside the dressing room in my gear, ripped like a desert fox, and the guy says to me, you want to come to Wisconsin? I'll bring your dad. Come and look at the facility. I said, sure, just call us. The guy never called. So I went. That's when I went to New West.
How are your grades?
Pretty good, but I wouldn't have. I could not do 4 years. I saw my son go through University of Victoria. No freaking way I want to do that. Way too hard.
No, you could have done it. You could have done it.
Not and played hockey. No.
Brown came to recruit me, and the coach was all nice and like that. He had me send my grades in, and I'm thinking, geez, man, I'm going to Brown. He called me up and goes, Tom, really like you as a hockey player, but there's not much we can do with these grades. Brown.
So
Speaking of All-Stars, did you ever you play All-Star games?
No.
Were you on the All-Star ballot? You were on the ballot, right?
I don't think they had one back then.
I was on the All-Star ballot one year. That's why I asked.
Okay,
worst year of my career.
The first year?
No, worst year of my career.
The worst year of your career. No, I will say this. I of course I would have loved to play an All-Star game. And 1 year I was second in defenseman scoring. And but that's when the coach picked I filled in the roster, and I think they had the voters were the starters were voted in, and
right.
And I know Mike Keenan was the head coach in Philly, and they added I think 3 defensemen from Philly were on the All-Star team that year.
Yeah.
So if I ever had a chance to play in it, that would have been.
What would you do if you're a coach and that situation comes? Would you want to pick your own guys on the team?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No.
Well, resting?
I want to rest them.
Oh.
I mean, I think if someone's really deserve it, I mean, you would pick them, but you want to make sure you go to the player and say, "Listen, I'm not picking you, not because I don't want you on the team. I want you rested, right?" Yeah. But it's so different now. It's all voted, and I think the GMs do it, and someone has to go from every team. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's just another reason to hate Philly, right?
one of many.
Yeah.
Did you, James? Did you see the show we had Clark Gillies on?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he's hilarious. It was just funny how he hated all the same people we hated too. He was he hated Ted Sater. He tell a story about how he was up in Buffalo with Ted Sater, and Ted put him on. This is late in Clark's career, and it was late in the game. Game was gone already, and put him out there against Lyndon Byers. And Clark had to fight him, and Ted came in after. It's kind of like patting him on the back, I'm proud of you and everything. And apparently, Clark jumped up and grabbed him and threw him across the room.
Ted had this incredible ability to have the veterans turn against him.
Yeah,
which we saw him do. Obviously, when he got rid of Nicky and Pierre and Glenn Hanlon, who I think we all know what kind of character guys they were. Mike Rogers as well.
Mike Rogers. Yep.
And I know when he ended Lindy's career in Buffalo, and Lindy was the captain. So even if he had no clue how to do things respectfully, And I think that's probably the reason his NHL career ended.
I think he wanted to be like Mike Keenan. They were tight, right? He was from that same school. He wanted to be that kind of vicious guy that people were afraid of or whatever, So, yeah, I never understood that stuff.
Yeah. You mentioned Clark Gillies and hating Philly. I've never, I'm probably the second team I disliked the most was the Islanders. And yet, I respected them.
Yeah.
But, the battles of playing against them and being a Ranger fan, even this run, the Islanders, I admire the way they play. And whenever I watch an NHL game, something inside me wants one of the two teams to win. Yeah. Someone will say, who are you pulling for? I don't pull for any team. And when you've played in the league and been around the league, I want the Islanders to win.
Yeah.
Which is, it's hard to say that as a Ranger.
Yeah. Totally. But you love the way they play, right? You want that team to win. Yeah. Well, listen, I got a little sad news for us too. Next week, Larry Melnick, just to be clear, will not be joining us, right? So everybody knows that. So I don't know if should we cancel the show, you think, or?
Be hard to replace Larry. I'll tell you that.
Right. Who do you think we should get into? So Kathy says, hold on a second. Kathy says, never. We can never cancel the show. Okay, so there's the answer right there. Who do you think we should get in to take his place? Is there anybody possible?
Pierre LaRouche would be a great guest. I just think there'd be great stories there from his perspective. There's a lot of guys.
I would kind of like to be on the show with Pepe, though.
Okay, then, no,
that's a good point.
Who's some other good talkers, Tommy, that
Mike Allison was great on the show too. I'd get him on again.
Fantastic. Yeah, he'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Great guy. Past Rangers who talked a lot.
Well, a lot of people suggest Chris Katsopoulos, but I don't think we're going to go there. We don't want to be our last show. What's that?
Pourquoi, Tom?
Now, in fairness, Kutsi was my roommate first year in the National Hockey League, but Kutsi's he was opinionated then, and he's gotten even more opinionated now, which is fine. It's good to have opinions. Like, you've got your opinion, but sometimes it's how you express yourself, right?
Yeah. So
I think he'd be good. I ran into Kotze a number of years ago at a mutual friend passed away, and had a good talk with him. I think he would be great on this. You know him better than I do, Tommy, and you see him around. But
I know he's it could have been fantastic, or it could have been like another Phil Esposito show where you have to delete it. That's the problem. Oh, how about your wife? Is your wife going to be on the vacation as well? No?
She's just started the wood chipper.
Is your wife, I'll repeat the question, is she going to be on the show? Is she going on your vacation?
Hold on a second. Rochelle, you want to be on the show next Thursday? What are you doing with the wood chipper?
Is she going to Sicamous?
I don't think I should be on the show.
Okay, thanks.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to be here next week, and Tom's all upset.
Rochelle, we want you on. Let's go.
Hey, so Jeep, what are you going to do for the rest of the summer? What's going on? You building a deck? What are you doing?
Well, so right now I'm in quarantine.
Oh yeah.
Because I just came back from the U.S. and you have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Oh, so wow!
I can't leave my house.
Wow.
I don't have the vaccine, and I'll share a story with you. Pretty stupid by me, but I talked to my nephew before he came back. When his season ended with Philly, I asked him how it was crossing the border. He flew into Minneapolis and drove from there. And he said it was easy. They give you a COVID test when you get to the border, and you have to quarantine. They take all your information. So I didn't check the website out. When I went down to visit Rocky, I drove to Fargo, which is like a 2.5-hour drive. Flew out of there, left my car there, and drove back. So I drive to the border, and they pull me in, and they said, "Do you have your COVID test?" I said, "No." They said, "Well, you're supposed to get a COVID test within the last 3 days before you enter Canada." And I said, "I didn't know that." And they said, "Did you not check the website?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Well, that's your responsibility. There's going to be a fine." And anyways, they kept me there for about an hour. Then they do a COVID test on you before they let you into the country. And then they gave me a ticket right before I was allowed to go free for $8,000.
No.
Because I didn't have a COVID test. And obviously I'm going to fight it. I'm pretty shook up. But so what am I doing right now? I'm in quarantine. I'm in communist Canada. I'm frustrated. I'm
8,000. Have you talked to a lawyer about that?
Yeah.
What's his take on it?
So, Jeep, there goes your deck.
I got to work another year now. I was hoping to retire soon. So
What does the lawyer say? Do you think you can fight it?
yeah, he said a lot of they've been giving out tickets like crazy in Canada for, they'll go to at one time when you weren't allowed in any outdoor parks or skating rinks, or they found kids playing at a playground and they were giving out tickets, $500 tickets. A lot of them have been uncontested. The people just don't pay them, and
Right.
I'm not going to take that chance. But
Right.
I talked to a lawyer and he said, he's going to get me off. We'll see.
Right. So they're trying to scare you too, right?
Yeah.
Scare other people more than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
What's
So
the name
you'll-
of that border, Jeep?
That was Pembina.
Oh yeah, Pembina Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just in Canada, I think you could say they're about 6 months behind the US, and there's still in Winnipeg, no restaurants are open, no hair, you can't get your hair cut. They're supposed to open within a week. They're saying in starting July 5th, if you have both vaccinations, you can cross the border again. But right now, if you go to Saskatchewan from Manitoba, you just drive there across the border, that when you come back, you're supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy here. So,
Wow.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're good. Everything's open here. Like my daughter's working in a restaurant, and sitting outside, sitting inside. You can mingle with 50 people. I think. Everything's good.
yeah,
You wouldn't do that. You don't like people that much, though, right?
No, I just mingle with 2, 3. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, Manitoba and Ontario are still locked down.
Oh.
Strict.
Well, Ontario, they just opened up their golf courses like 2 weeks ago. We've been open for the whole time.
Where are they at with the vaccines? Like they had really low numbers in the vaccines before, right? The number of people getting it.
70% of people in Manitoba have been vaccinated, and they still haven't opened up.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Same with BC, 72%.
Wow.
I've got one vaccination. I'm due at the end of July.
So, James, what are they saying? Are they giving you a reason why? If you get 70% of the people vaccinated, you still can't do anything.
Because they're saying they're expecting another wave, this second, third, fourth wave of the virus to make its way here. That was the main reason. And they're not opening up until they have higher numbers vaccinated.
Wow.
So
They should get an $8,000 ticket for wearing that shirt.
$20, I'll send you one, Junks.
Did you buy that for this week, or you had that in the closet already?
It came out of the closet last week.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it. $20, Tip Top Tailors. Regular 70.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
How's it going driving up down? No accidents, no parking situations, nothing?
No, I had one, small incident. I'm at a stop sign, 4-way stop sign. I don't know if I told this one. Guy in a white truck. Kind of looked like a Denali, but it was white. Those guys that drive trucks, they're not, anyways. He sat at the stop sign and let about 6 cars go through it. Like he's just standing there waving.
He's polite.
No idea why.
He's polite. That's why.
He was a guy too.
He's polite.
Stupid.
So you honked?
Oh, I honked. Did I tell you the story about I went through 2 Mercedes horns? That's impossible, Jeep.
You did?
Yeah. 2 of them.
I've never heard anybody have to replace their horn.
Did he
You did. Come on.
Did he get moving after you honked?
No, he gave me, instead of waved, he gave me the fingers. So I slowed down a bit and gave him the what to, and that was about it.
Tommy, what store does Dave work at? What liquor store?
Oh, it's right downtown Greenwich. I don't know the name.
Okay.
I'll find it out.
I thought it was in Glenville. Well, because I went to a couple.
Oh,
I'd run into him there.
yeah, right downtown. It's close to the hospital, I think. That's where he lives in that area.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember the name. It's a small little place too. Oh, so you went in to see if you could find him?
Yeah, I went into like 3 different liquor stores. I thought it was in Glenville. Remember the Glenville Pizzeria there? I thought it was near there.
Yeah, no, it's not there. Yeah.
What's your drink of choice, Jeep?
I'm a beer drinker. I would say beer and vodka. Vodka soda. that's the healthiest drink, and light beer. I like Coors Light, Bud Light,
Yeah.
Corona.
How about this hard? Is it hard cider they've got going now? Is this a new thing?
Yeah, but that's for the young.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's too sweet.
Yeah.
No, the nudes.
The nudes?
Can of nudes. NUDE.
Continental Fine Wines. Is that where Dave works? Huh?
So when you get out of quarantine, what are you going to do?
Golfing and going to my cabin. So I got a cabin 2 hours from here. I'll spend about a month there. I'm going to come back to New York when our friend Rocky has his surgery. So
Yeah.
that'll be sometime in July.
Our roving reporter there knows the liquor store, Mrs. P's Continental Liquor Store. Mr. P, sorry.
Mr. P.
That's Rich Susanna, coach of the year for the last 30 years here in Greenwich.
Are you a member at a course?
Yeah, I am.
Which one?
St. Charles.
Oh, yeah. Sir St. James at Sir St. Charles. That's
Is there anything else you want to know? Like you're grilling him like he's on trial or something like that.
Well, when I get to Winnipeg, we won't have to talk about it so much. We can just drink.
Well, bring your clubs, Mel.
Yes, I for sure will. The only problem is I won't have my vaccine till the end of July. So I probably well, you can't travel then, right?
Well, you can. No, they don't write your information down. If you come in from Canada, no one's monitoring you.
Oh, okay.
That's the honor system.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll vouch
Gee,
for.
so when does your quarantine end? How much longer do you have in quarantine?
I got 9 days left.
All right. So next week, then, if we can't get, well, no, let's just plan you having on next week.
If
Okay? We'll get Mike Allen.
Hey,
No.
James,
Mike Allen. Yeah.
one last question, James.
Yeah.
When Tommy goes to Costco, they all know him there, right? He's like Norm. So
Yeah.
when you go to Costco, does everybody know you there? And you sign autographs at Costco?
no one knows me anywhere in this city.
Wow.
Ah,
No. Okay, we played 40 years ago. Like 35 years ago. Honestly, people don't have a clue who.
I make sure they have a clue who I am. I carry around those little Ranger cards.
Well, Mel, you can vouch for that because
Mel drives around with Stanley Cups in his car.
they
Right.
know the present day players. They barely remember the Sedins in Vancouver. And
Yeah. Well, they just got hired. So
yeah, I saw that. So,
there you go.
but
Well, James, good to see you again. And a big thing, the influence you have on Mel, because this last few shows for him has not been good at all. His effort, his preparation have been terrible. This show was much better, and I'd have to credit you for being a big part of that. So
great seeing both you guys.
good seeing you.
I'll wear a better shirt next time. Now that
You're looking good. No, you're looking good. Don't worry about it. Just a nice black shirt's all you need. See you guys next week.
okay, you guys take care.